All right. Joe Vittori and Greg Valentino. Bunch of crazy guys, right?
Two nice guys.
Well, you think he's a character? Our next guest up, he doesn't need any introduction. Let's give it up for five-time world boxing champion, Vinny Paz.
Way to go, Vin.
Thank you, buddy.
Nice to see you.
What's going on? Now,
How about Johnny P? How about this piece?
I love it, buddy.
Who's got the camera on me? Look at that.
Five-time world
That's
boxing
pretty cool.
champion. Now, Vinny, I gotta say this. You know, thank you.
Casale Jewelers.
Casale Jewelers.
Yes, Casale Jewelers.
All right, good,
Yeah,
good.
they just were kind enough to give me this. It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Thank you, Corey. It's awesome. And in the beginning, how this all started with meeting everybody, everyone's cool, and then your makeup lady is taking good care of me, and I'm like loaded up. I need all the makeup you got, and I said, "Where are you from?" And she says, "Poland." I said, "Oh wow." I said, "Wow." Yeah, in the images, USA versus Poland, yeah, I fought them. I said, "I really kicked his ass bad. They're not good fighters." I said, but that's cool. You're from Poland." And I know she did a rotten job on my makeup.
No, you look good.
Because of that.
Put it this way, she's very loyal. She's a great, great. Let's give it up for Agnes, everybody. Loyal makeup artist. She comes all the way from Queens
Agnes.
to work on the show. Now, Vinny, listen, I got to tell you your story. You're a legend in the boxing world, five-time world titles. After overcoming a serious car accident when you broke your neck, the doctors told you never would box again. You went to physical therapy, you worked out, and you came back and you won the championship again. That's an amazing story, bro. Why don't you tell us how it all started for you? What got you into boxing?
What got me into boxing was, and kind of why I changed my name, because I always tried to emulate this man, and I just thought he was the bomb. I was 5 years old, and I started watching a guy by the name of Muhammad Ali, and I loved him. And that's it. I started boxing. And I went once a week to this organization, and it went from 5 to 10 years old. And then I had to stop. And, you know, my parents, I had great parents. I got very lucky. And, you know, they made me do the schooling thing, and I played all kind of sports, and it was pretty good, but I always loved to box. And I would take kids in my cellar, in the garage, and I was like the kind of guy at that time that nobody could leave until like they were bleeding or knocked out or something bad had to happen. Oh, we're gonna keep fighting till the death, and that's the truth. And then I went to see this iconic movie, which when I look back at it now, I wonder why the heck did I want to do this? What in the hell made me want to box after seeing this? I saw this movie called Rocky.
Yeah, great flick.
Yeah. And I was 15 at the time, and the kids that I went with, we went home shadow boxing, and they were like, "Paz, you gotta fight, you gotta go to the gym, you gotta do this, you can do it." And that was the next day. I woke up my mother and father. They were in the bed. I got up early before school, and I tapped them, and I said, "Ma, Dad," I said, I'm gonna go jogging. I want to be a fighter." And when I said that, my mother jumped up out of the bed, and she goes, "Angelo, tell your kid he's not going to be a fighter." And my father used to call me Champ, because when I was 5, I boxed. And he said, "Champ, go back to bed. Just go back to bed." "No, Dad, I want to be a fighter." I said, "Take me to the gym tonight." "Go back to bed, Champ." Wait. I went out jogging, and my father took me to the gym, and that was it. Rest is history. And, you know, it's just so nuts. My life is so nuts. And I always think, when I say that, my life's so crazy, I just wanted to box. I was 5 years old, I just wanted to box. From that, I've been to the Playboy Mansion with Hugh Hefner.
Nice.
I've been invited to Eddie Murphy's house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've been invited to Eddie. Yeah, cool. I've been invited to Eddie Murphy's house for his 45th birthday party. I've done movies with Sylvester Stallone, which one never came out. I was with Andrew Dice Clay a couple weeks ago with my boy Jackman out in Vegas.
Oh, yeah?
It's just nuts. My life's nuts.
You know what? I watched a lot of your old clips just to go back, and you had a lot of celebrities at all your shows.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone used to be front row. Schwarzenegger, Gene Hackman used to be there.
Yeah.
And many other people.
Yeah. I was lucky. I was good, and I was lucky. You gotta.
It was
be
a
good, you gotta
happening.
be
When you went
lucky.
to, I saw him fight. When you went to, you people should understand, this guy was considered a warrior. I mean, there are guys that are boxers and guys that are tough, but he and another guy I used to like, Arturo Gatti.
Yeah. Tough.
When you paid to see a Vinny Paz fight, you got your money's worth. Let me tell you. And I mean, he just battled and battled and battled, and it was not just his flamboyancy that brought a lot of these stars. He was a great, great fighter. I mean, you talk about fighting, he was a great fighter.
Yeah, it was almost like the old Rocky movies, actually. I was watching a lot of them.
Johnny P, if I come back on the show again, if I do the show again, you got to get something done with
You got to put it right here. Put it right near your nipple, because if it goes against your chain, it's going to make a lot of noise.
My agent here, this is all because of my agent.
Zena.
Z. Yeah, she's the best. My other agent here, he's been my boy for 20 years, Nicky Cordasco.
Put it right over here on your shirt.
To post this on his nipple, but I am not going to talk much longer.
Can I help you?
Here's the
with
stage.
Yes. Look at this. We got the famous Rick Borgia here. Let's get ready. All right, Rhode Island. You two guys are in the same town.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
I'm from the smallest state in the country. And I can't believe it. In my life, every day comes up, time flies. I would never be 29 if time didn't fly.
29. Yeah, 29. You got it?
It's a joke. It's a small world. He's from Rhode Island.
Right.
And life is crazy.
How is it in Rhode Island these days? It's like a little
great
party
state.
town, right?
Yeah, a cool little state.
Everybody knows each
Small.
other, though. You can't have too many secrets in Rhode Island.
Never been.
It's great. Good Italian food, I'll tell you that, John.
Now, I want to hear some legendary moments with Roberto Duran and some of the highlights of your career, too.
Crazy,
You got so
yeah.
many.
It's crazy because I end up fighting him twice. And I remember I was an amateur, and a lot of people wanted to sign me pro because I was on the USA, I was on the Olympic boxing team. I had some fights on TV. So, all the guys, all the head promoters were chasing me. And I went with Lou Duva to a fight. He took me to a fight in Madison Square Garden. And I sat in the third row, and I looked in the ring, and I watched. And I was in awe of the guy that I watched, and I started boxing because of him. I started boxing because of Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran. I'm watching Roberto Duran fight Davey Moore, who was a gold medalist and the world champion at the time. And it's amazing how life goes, the WBA champion. And I'm watching him, and I'm just going, oh my God, look at this guy, Roberto Duran. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. So I emulated my career a little bit. I fought like him. And how nuts is this? That fight that I was at, as I was an amateur fighter, I watched Roberto Duran win the junior middleweight championship of the world, and he became the first man to ever in the history of boxing go from lightweight to junior middleweight and win world titles.
Wow.
How nuts is this? I ended up being the second guy in the history of the world to do that. How nuts is that?
That's sick.
That's crazy. And then on top of it all, I end up fighting him twice, and I would have never imagined that.
That's great.
Yeah. So pretty cool. And yes, I did kick his ass twice. but I also now don't clap. He was 87. So it's okay, but and still, Johnny P, that MFer hit me harder than anybody has in the ring ever.
Yeah.
His nickname
call him
Hands of Stone. Hands
yeah.
of Stone. That's bullshit. Hands of boulders. Very stones. Like he could hit. He was just so heavy-handed.
Now, what's the deal? How many? Is it true? Is it like 75 or 100 times you broke your nose? How many times actually?
I broke my nose around 100 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah, around 100
You would never-
times.
I can't even- it don't-
Sparring, I fought since I was 5 years old, and I had so many fights. I won 100 amateur fights. I fought 60 professional fights. I sparred. People don't realize. Never mind that. The sparring in between to prepare for all those fights. Hundreds of thousands of rounds. Yeah, I broke it so many times, and I've had it fixed a couple times. once by, you know, a good friend of mine now, Dr. Michael Nicoli. I love the guy. He's awesome. And one of my doctors, one of my cut mans at the end of my career was on the doctors. He's still on today, the doctors, Andrew Orden.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you know who I'm talking about?
Plastic surgeon.
He's one of the best. And so, you know, I got lucky too. Like I said, in life, you gotta be good, but you gotta be lucky. And I've had some good people around me, and that's why my nose looks kinda good now, kinda. It looked bad.
Now, what
before.
happens like when you get it fixed and then you get your nose broke
I blow
broke
my
again?
nose constantly.
Would you
so
like,
many people think that I
is
do
it just
drugs
like every day
because of that.
normal thing for you, just to break your nose, or you?
Yeah, after a while, it got to be no
You
big
just
deal.
said,
Yeah,
F it, right?
It was like no big deal. Yeah,
Jesus.
crazy life. I told you, crazy life.
Give me some
Crazy
more.
life.
Give me some more gossip from back in the day. Some of the highlights, the real good highlights.
I've been with some hot chicks.
Oh, easy now. Take it.
See, I have.
That's a knockout.
That's all.
Playboy models.
I've been with a couple Playboy models, penthouse stars, porn stars.
Oh,
That's it.
That's got to be my agent clapping. He's the only one sick enough to clap for that. And also here in the crowd is Peter Conti, who wrote the story, my story, wrote the first story on me, and it's gotten away from him. Him and I both had to sell the project, which of course I'm still involved in. I have to be, but Peter is not. But Peter Conti, who ended up being a buddy of mine just because his brother had cerebral palsy, tremendously bad, and he was a big fan of mine. So I used to always let him come in my gym, and I'd go see him once in a while. That's how I got to be friends with Peter, and it's so crazy. He was talking to Joe Pesci one day, and he was telling Joe about this fighter from Rhode Island, me, the story, the broken neck and everything, and Joe Pesci said, "Wow, that sounds like a great story. Why don't we turn you write it? I'll play his dad." So when he told me about that, I was like, "Wow, that's really cool. He wants to do my story." I said, "But my father will shit a Twinkie if Joe Pesci plays him. You get my father will turn over in his grave. Wait, really?" But it started. That's how it started. But now the latest, a couple weeks ago. Just a couple of weeks ago, Alec Baldwin, it looks like he signed on to play my dad.
Yes, that's what I was
Which
just
is really cool.
That's what I want to say. Vinny is involved with Martin Scorsese, and they're going to be doing a
Did I
project.
mention that?
Yeah. No,
Martin
I'll mention that
Scorsese?
now, right now. Martin Scorsese for his life story. Fill us in.
Well, the producer, Chad Verdi, he's an amazing guy. He's from Rhode Island. And he's literally produced 5 movies already in the last 3 years, I think. Peter, how long has it been? 3 or 4 years?
No, more than that. We started.
5 years, 6 years?
Finished the script in 08.
08. All right, so 6 years. This guy's done, he's amazing, Chad Verdi. Anyways, one day Chad calls me and he said, "Vinny, you're not gonna believe who I got to produce your movie." I said, "Who?" He said, "Martin Scorsese." I said, "You're right, I don't believe you." and Martin's on, and
You can't get any
pretty
better
cool.
than him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him too.
Well, good luck, bro.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. And now we got Alec Baldwin, Miles Teller, who's going to play me. I think he's going to do a really great job.
Oh, nice.
Freddie Roach is teaching him right now. Freddie Roach, trains
trainer.
Pacquiao, great trainer. And he's from, Freddie Roach is from, he's from Massachusetts, not too far from where I live. I kind of grew up, one of his brothers was on the U.S. Olympic boxing team with me, little Pepper Roach.
he has a debilitating disease. Doesn't
Absolutely, yeah. I think he has Parkinson's.
he? Yeah. Great trainer.
Shame.
You
Yeah,
know
great
who he is?
trainer.
Great trainer.
Do you know who I'm talking about, Johnny?
Of course I
P?
do, yeah.
Great trainer. So we'll see. They right now they plan on filming in July or August.
Good.
They're gonna film in Rhode Island and in Vegas, because that's where I won a world title after I broke my neck. And it will be a very inspiring movie. It'll give a lot of people faith and
Yeah.
courage, and a lot of inspiration.
And I'm sure you're going to be bringing in, which I want to bring in before, and I want to go back a little, let people know who don't know. In 1991, when you had that almost fatal car accident, you want to tell us a little bit about that and how you came back?
During the day, it was noontime. Just worked out, left a weightlifting gym, left the gym, and a friend of mine was driving, and car cut him off. He jacked up on the brakes, and I remember holding the side door panel for life, holding on, going, we're sliding down the other side of the road. I'm seeing trucks come, cars come, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm never gonna defend my world title again. That was the last thought I had, and then boom, we got nailed, and that was it. Broke my neck.
Crazy.
And yeah, and it's funny because when I came to, when this dust settled, and we landed, I was crouched over, and my friend said, "Hey, you all right?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm all right. You all right?" He goes, "Yeah." Because I saw blood all over the place, and it wasn't from me; it was from him smashing into the window. But he ended up being fine, and it was crazy because when the EMTs came and they started prying my door open, they saw it was me. Then like, Vinny Paz is in the car. Vinny Paz is in the car, and my name's flying all over the place. And the next thing I know, they grab me and move me. And when they do, a pain, like my body just like flushed. I just remember heat pain all over my body when they moved me because my neck bent.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, stop, my neck. My neck's killing me. I think my neck is broke. And they put a brace on me and put me into a ambulance. And the next thing I know, I hear some dude, you better check those kids. This is 1 PM. I mean, and then I barely drank then. Like now, to this day, I don't drink till after 9, 10 o'clock at night. But then I hear this guy coming closer and closer. You better check those kids. They were on my side. They must have been drinking. They were drinking. Check them. And I'm thinking, oh my God, here comes the guy that hit me. They're gonna put him in my ambulance. I'm sitting there laying there with a broken neck, a strap on, and I got the brace on my neck. And now the guy's coming closer, and I can hear him talking all kinds of crap. And now they start lifting him up. I'm seeing it's him that's coming into my freaking ambulance. So I'm there laying like this with a broken neck, and I go, he's not coming in here with me. And I'm holding this thing, and I'm pushing it out. I said, get him out of here. I'm not driving with this freaking guy. And so they took my friend, and they took him out. Nuts.
Well, listen, Vinny.
My
What was your
crazy
feeling when
life.
the doctors told you you're not going to fight again?
Good question.
What happens then?
I was laying on there. They took all kind of X-rays, and then the doctor came. Dr. Carter, he's the best. I love him. And I put him through torture. He was 75 years old. I think I put him in the grave, but he says he comes in, and I said, Doc, how's it? As I'm stiff with the collar brace on, I said, Doc, how's it look? I said, can I fight again? And he was like, son, you're not gonna fight again. He said, but you know, let's see if you can walk. And I was, and I kind of flipped out. I was free. My hands were free. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm not gonna fight again? I can move my arms. I said, I'm fine. And just my left leg was a little numb. And I didn't even want to tell him. And I started like kicking my legs a little bit. I said, I'm gonna fight again. What are you talking about? It was just a nutty scene. And my mother was there. She was bawling. My sister was bawling. It was a crazy scene.
That's a bigger battle than winning a world championship.
Yeah. It's gonna make for a good movie.
Well, listen, that movie's gonna definitely be inspirational to anybody that has to ever go through what you did. But you know, God bless you.
Johnny P, I wanted them to call it Paz because it was really cool. Paz.
Listen, Artie didn't even know. He didn't even know it was a Tasmanian devil.
Pazmania.
He knows. Artie
Are you
knows.
kidding me?
They're gonna call it Bleed.
Well, listen,
for this.
Vinny, that's your time, unfortunately.
Bleed for this.
That's your time, unfortunately.
That's nice.
Where could people find you if they have to find you?
Oh, cool. That's thank you. Check me out on vinnypaz.com. Get headstrong and be strong.
All right.
Headstrong is.
I got the coolest DVD. I got the coolest DVD. Not only in boxing, I got the coolest DVD in sports history.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm gonna send you one. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Well, Vinny, have a seat. Thank you. Vinny Pazienza. For Artie, I want to say special thank you to you, buddy.
My pleasure.
Artie
My
Pasquale
pleasure.
for The Sopranos.
My pleasure. My timing was right to be here with Vinny.
Artie,
It was great. It was
it's
meant to be.
Always a pleasure. Artie's one of the good guys.
Anyway, thanks for having me, John.
it's
Anytime
not-
you need a guy, you know I'm there.